Hello everyone, namaste. My name is Bill Austin. I'm a spiritual healer, teacher, artist, and visionary, living in St. Petersburg, Florida, in the United States. My main website is www.healingholograms.com. And next week is Thanksgiving in the United States, which means it's Turkey Day, and Americans tend to eat a very large meal that day. So this is a great time to do an angelic healing session for weight, obesity, overeating, food allergies, food cravings, and eating disorders. Before I begin, I'd just like to set some intents. I'd like to begin by invoking and inviting the presence of the Creator and the Holy Spirit Shekinah to come forth, to bless, purify, sanctify this transmission, and to monitor it energetically and to protect and shield it. I'd like to set the intent that all the energies exchanged between you and me and anyone impacted by this recording will be love and only love. I'd like to set the intent that all the energies encoded on this recording will be aligned with the highest good of all concerned and support the spiritual evolution of each being. I'd like to set the intent that everything that's offered today is offered to the highest level aspect of our monad, which is the soul of our soul. That's the most pristine part of ourselves for full or partial acceptance or rejection by the highest level aspect of our monads. And finally, I'd just like to set the intent that that nothing from our mental bodies or personality cells or ego mind or shadow side will enter into this transmission or impact the energies encoded on this transmission or recording in any way whatsoever. Okay. Now, before I begin, I'd just like to talk a little bit about logistics. I'll be announcing the title of each transmission, and I ask you to go within at that point and ask if it's aligned with your highest good to receive this or not at this time. If and when you get a yes when I say transmission begins, all you have to do on your end is set the intent to be open to receive. You can say out loud or to yourself, yes, thank you, Creator, I accept. If you get a no, I ask you to honor that, and I ask you when you hear me say transmission begins, all you have to do is say out loud or to yourself, no thank you. You can always come back to YouTube and listen to this presentation again. Okay, the first transmission we're going to do today is angelic healing of parallel past and future lives archives, healing of the genetic archives, and all programming around hunger, starvation, weight, obesity, overeating, food cravings, allergies, food allergies especially, and eating disorders. Transmission begins. Transmission ends. And that's going after we have a lot of lifetimes. If you've been on this planet for many lifetimes, as most of you who are listening to this have, a lot of times you have lifetimes where you starved to death or you saw family members starve to death and have a lot of hunger starvation programming. And that's one of the reasons why the body doesn't release that very easily, is because it's afraid it's going to starve to death. So it clears out a lot of that stuff. It clears out the genetics and the past life stuff, the parallel life stuff, the future life stuff, going around those type of things. Okay, the second transmission is going to be genetic healing profiles around weight, obesity, overeating, food cravings, food allergies, and eating disorders. Transmission begins. Transmission ends. The third transmission is going to be angelic healing profiles for self-sabotage and self-destructive patterns, programs, and emotions around weight, obesity, overeating, food cravings, food allergies, and eating disorders. Transmission begins. Transmission ends. The fourth transmission are brain chemistry healing profiles around weight, obesity, overeating, food cravings, food allergies, and eating disorders. Transmission begins. Transmission ends. The the next transmission is a personality, subpersonality, and psychological archetype healing profiles around weight, obesity, overeating, food cravings, food allergies, and eating disorders. Transmission begins. Transmission ends. The sixth transmission is going to be a transmission for angelic healing for the origins, causes, sources, foundations, triggers, roots, seeds, profiles to help around that, around weight, obesity, overeating, food cravings, food allergies, and eating disorders. Transmission begins. Transmission ends. The next transmission is going to be angelic healing profiles around weight, obesity, overeating, food cravings, food allergies, and eating disorders, and healing profiles for the metabolism, healing profiles for emotional armoring, that type of thing. Transmission begins. Transmission ends. The next transmission is going to be an angelic love and healing wash around weight, obesity, overeating, food cravings, food allergies, and eating disorders, and as well as emotional armoring and metabolism issues and genetics. Transmission begins. Transmission ends. Just like to conclude with some energies from the Creator to help us to integrate what we've received today with ease and grace in the most perfect possible way and manner. Transmission begins. Transmission ends. That concludes our presentation. Thank you. Namaste. I look forward to connecting with you again on the inner planes.